It's a Shane Tapper with the back patio quarterbacks. Got a couple of my friends here.
Chris McAlpin.
Toby Collums.
We just got through eating a good meal. We had some ribeyes from the country meat market down in Brookhaven, twice baked potato, and we had some bacon wrapped shrimp. Tonight's meal was modeled after Captain Al's restaurant down in Biloxi, Mississippi. Years ago, they were only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Stand in line for hours outside waiting to get in. But they literally had three things on the menu. They had steak, shrimp, and steak and shrimp. I duplicated that tonight.
You did a good job. And what I'm really laughing at is the last time the three of us had a conversation together, you didn't have glasses. So as you were putting glasses on to read, you got old.
We've all gotten very old. We've all gotten very old, for sure. Yeah, sure. Are you talking about me?
But no, I can't read. I can't read that one. I'm sitting there writing without reading. I can't read without them.
Oh, God.
Heavens no.
So I don't remember when it was.
It's supposed to ask you an insurance question. I'm going to
Yeah, we're going to do that.
We're going to do that.
I guess it was 5 or 6 years ago. I'm sitting in my office, and I realized that I was doing this. My arm.
Somebody else.
Yeah, my arm was stretched out.
That's what I do in church every day.
Yeah, just to read. And I got home and I was like, Marcy, I think I'm losing my eyesight or something. And she's like, oh, no, you're fine. It's fine. And then later on, she saw me with my phone stretched out again. She's like, no, you can't read. I was like, no, I can't see nothing.
So I think it's something about the lighting in the church. Like
Yeah,
they do
It
something
is.
where you
It really
can't
is.
see
It's
the Bible.
it's the ambiance of church.
I told it out here.
Well, they make the little
Keep telling yourself that.
the wording. I mean, it's just like it's so freaking little.
Keep telling yourself that.
You can't see that at all.
That's right.
But I went.
getting worse and
yeah.
worse.
Oh, it is. I went to the doctor and said, "Oh yeah, you got 20/20 vision." And I was like, "What?" But you can't see up close. Can't see nothing up close.
And it's worse early in the morning and late in the afternoon. I don't really know. I don't know why it's certain times of the day. I really don't.
So it's the morning time. You just hadn't woke up yet, so your eyes are blurry.
I really think it's because my eyes are just getting lazy.
Is this a
is what they are.
PG show? Because I'd say I'm full of something.
Yeah. Oh, we can do whatever. I'm like, hey, for sure.
So Toby, what's the football scene? Well, like high school football in Mississippi in the fall of 2025. What does the lineup look like? Because I'm gonna set that up. We're gonna tell those stories. We can talk about how tough we used to be.
We're coming up on a season where we're going to have a very young team. I'm going to get tested as a coach. I had a meeting with the assistant superintendent today and said, hey, I need to talk to you and the superintendent. He said, about what? I said, about patience.
But not retirement.
He said, what do you mean patience? I said, well, we're about to go through maybe some trying times as far as our season. He said, do you want to talk about exit strategy or patience? I said, well, I'm open patience. So no, we got a young team. I think we're talented. I think we got a chance to be pretty good, but it's just.
We've known Toby for a long time.
He's one of them old school pole mouthing.
Look, he sounds just like Coach Neville Barr that coached me in high school.
I got less hair though.
Every year, yes, he's got a good head of hair. Every year he'd get interviewed. We're young this year.
Mickey Linder.
Yeah. And then Toby's he's been the 5 out of 6. Yeah, 5 out of the last 6 years North State Championship, won a state championship. Yeah. Hey, but we're gonna be young this year.
I'm just telling the truth, guys.
And he'll coach them up, and they'll make a run.
All right, yeah. That's right. Willis Wright told.
I hope y'all can talk it into existence. That's what I want. That's what I want y'all to do.
Now, Booty Sloan said that to Coach. No, not Booty Sloan. Willis Wright said that to Booty Sloan in about 1991, before South Panola tore off about a decade.
Right, exactly.
From about 94 to 04.
Yeah, the longest winning streak in the history of all.
Willis Wright told a young coach one time, he came down the hill from class or whatever. Willis was out there reading the paper. Kids were in there in the locker room, doing whatever they're doing. He's out there reading the paper. Young coach goes in the locker room. They're out there listening to music, doing whatever. He goes in there and goes off. Guy turns the music down and says, Coach, you need to relax and let us put a ring on your finger. Sends him out. He goes out there and says, Willis Wright. He said, I told you, leave them alone. I was at the All-Star game, Miss Al game with Dwayne Rudd, and we were doing an inside run period, and I broke off a run or whatever, and I'm running, and all of a sudden I get lifted off the ground. My feet are still running, and I think I'm still running. And he sets me down and passed me on the butt. Said, "Good run, son." It was Dwayne Rudd.
He was grown man.
We were the same age.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Grown man.
Grown man. That cat could play ball. Played about 152 years in the NFL.
Yeah, he played forever.
He did. The hardest one was Morgan, their running back.
Yeah. We were roommates.
Y'all
Really?
Yep. Were you Morgan more? I liked him.
Yep.
Yeah. I hadn't seen him in 20 years, but that team set up an absolute dominant dynasty with y'all and Johnny Mills, who I coached with, y'all played for, and I guess you coached with me. You can tell
Played and coached, yeah.
Played and coached with, but he was from there, and he said there was some little community out in the county where every one of those kids were from, and he said like the whole place could play ball.
Yep.
And if you could get them to play ball at South Panola High School, you were going to win whatever sport you got them to play. And they dominated. I hadn't won it a few years, but I mean, they dominated for 15, 20 years. I mean,
It was insane.
it was insane. Yeah.
From I mean, you got to think.
It was about 94. Was that 93? Was that year? It was my senior. It was my fall, my senior year, and that was their first one.
And they won it.
They won a
Periodic
one of them
all the way through
for the next
2000.
It's still the nation's longest winning streak.
Is this still?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I think it was 89 games, something like that.
Yeah.
They tackled our quarterback that year, who started 2 years for Notre Dame, won 3 Grey Cups in the CFL. Okay, this guy could play ball himself. Malika Griffin hurdles our fullback, like high jumps him. It didn't even hurt, like just the side, and grabs Jerry as obviously going. Of course, it'd be an illegal tackle today, but he just clotheslines him. We're looking on the film going, damn.
Jeez.
Like, why didn't you play? You know, he's getting forced. Of course, fullbacks get out for not blocking him, but he's like, look at that cat. I mean, like, he jumped over me.
Yeah.
You know.
But also think about the coaches they had to come through there. I mean, you talking about Willis Wright,
That's right. It was Hall of Famer.
Ricky Woods,
Oh, yeah.
Lance
Pope. Yeah.
Oh,
They had some.
all those guys were just, I'm talking about just, I mean, people tell stories about them all the time. I mean, whether it be Ricky Woods or Willis or whoever. I mean, they talk about Willis talking about one of the running backs came through there and somebody was coming through to recruit him or whatever. And Willis didn't care if he was in the drill or not. I mean, coach shows up, said, "Where is so-and-so?" "Well, he's down there in the woods." If you want to go see him, you go down there and see him.
He didn't care one bit.
They played. The only time I ever saw anybody other than the Chicago Bears play that monster defense, that monsters of the mid, they actually ran a 6-1 with Dwayne Rudd. Dude, just make sure that nobody as big as Dwayne could get on him to block him. They'd cover up all the offensive linemen, and he just run.
Well, I mean, when Ed was there, Ed Stanley was there. I mean, they stood up half the time. I mean, all of them. Yeah. They never put a hand on the ground. They stood up. Yeah. Yeah. You never knew where they were going.
It was the same. Just because they had their hand on the ground, didn't know you knew where to go. It didn't really matter. It didn't make that. They had all the gaps covered. I remember playing that my senior year. It was y'all remember how in October, one of the weekends in October was the first weekend that coaches could actually come to the ball game.
Yeah.
Everybody, it was Tupelo versus South Panola. Everybody in the SEC was there. Every head coach in there. I mean, they were all there. They weren't there to see us. We're defending state championship, and they weren't there to see us. You know? And I remember looking up and going, holy smokes. This place, it was a madhouse to play there, too. Yeah. It was a madhouse. One of those old lights, had those low lights.
Oh, yeah.
It was just dark. Yeah.
Had shadows in the corners.
Shadows in the corners of the field.
And it looks the same way now.
It looks the same way now. It does.
It does. We were up there a couple of years ago, and I've never coached there before, but just growing up, when I grew up, knowing the nostalgia about South Panola, I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way that we're beating these guys. Right. I mean, no way. And they were not the same South Panola at the time,
right,
but I mean, I'm coaching against the
greatest
ghosts. Yeah, the ghost of South Panola.
That's right. Yeah. Wow.
And there's another old field. Did you ever play or coach in the Meridian High School field?
Oh, yeah.
Meridian field.
Yeah.
That's another old.
I played a JUCO game there.
That's a cool old place to play ball.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Big down in the locker rooms.
Yep.
And it's still the same way.
Still the same way.
Toilets have no stalls.
Yeah. It's just urinals. Yep. Still the same way.
I'm sure your audience wants to hear all about that.
Right.
But I got a funny story about that.
I got a funny story I won't tell either.
Yeah, well, I do too, about my wife.
So Dwayne Rudd, I think I was in on tackle on the punt, and Rudd came kind of over the pile. Remember how you used to jump over a pile and clean it? What you're really trying to do is get somebody's knee on the other side.
Right.
And he had done that, and I'm on the other side. And I had moved just at the right time. And just as I stepped back, I kicked him right in the ribs as I'm walking off the field. My youth minister from high school can still tell this story. My mom stands up, Jim, Chris is kicking that boy. That boy, Dwayne Rudd. Yeah, right.
That boy.
That's like grown. From the grown man down there, right? From the top of the stands. Well, hell, Lim, what do you want me to do about it? Then everybody Tupelo was just cracking up. You remember those little cracker backs, stands that are up there. Everybody can hear everybody talking. So if anybody shows their rear end in the stands, everybody's going to talk about it. Remember our first coaching story?
Yes, sir. The first time we ever got to be coaches.
At Mississippi College.
At Mississippi College,
yeah.
Yep.
Ripe old age of about 22.
My senior year.
Graduate assistant.
Quarterback. I was a quarterback my senior year.
The coaches were playing it up where you and I were getting to be, we were going to contribute to the team. Yeah. We're going to trade film with the opposing team somewhere the other side of Meridian, somewhere in Alabama. Had a trade film. We're going to leave at 8 o'clock that morning, load up in the Mississippi College van, take off, whatever.
So this is like legit, like the van, like Mississippi College.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all were big time coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we had
y'all felt like
shirts and everything.
Like y'all felt like
Shane, I felt like I was really becoming a coach.
like Bear Bryant.
Yeah.
I thought that I was going to lead to us winning the game. So they told us we had to take these films, like 4 films, trade it with the opposing team, bring it back, and then we're going to break it down or get it all cut up and get it to the coaches.
We don't do that no more, though.
We had to chart it.
No,
y'all don't.
That's all
By hand anymore. Y'all don't chart it by hand. You need
No,
a GA
no.
to chart by
we were going to chart it by hand, all that kind of stuff. So me and Chris load up in the van next morning. I've got coffee. I mean, he and I are giddy.
Y'all are fired up.
I'm talking about fired up.
The first big job, coaching job.
Take off 45 minutes down the road. I look at Chris. I say, Chris, where are those tapes we're supposed to trade? He said, what tapes? I said, the tapes we're supposed to trade with the opposing team. He said, I think they're back in the field house.
no cell phone.
Yeah, way before cell phone.
We pulled over and used a payphone and called one of the coaches. I think it was Coach Smith, who just recently passed away, who was absolutely livid.
Oh, we got our tails chewed out so bad.
They had to get in their vehicle, their personal vehicle, and meet us somewhere between Clinton and the other side of Jackson or whatever, and trade film.
And y'all were meeting.
So we pull over in a parking lot. This is no lie. We pull over in a parking lot, and he and I are arguing over who's going to get off, who's going to get out. And me, Coach Smith, to get the film.
Oh,
It
God.
It was the most humbling experience that I've ever had as a coach. I'm not lying.
And that was your first job.
We met those coaches from Alabama at the Waffle House.
I can remember that they'd been there about 2 hours.
Oh, were they pissed? Oh,
It was somewhere around Livingston or somewhere like that.
Yeah, somewhere around Livingston. I'm probably expected to get chewed out. I tell you, the funniest thing about being a young coach like that I didn't realize was that you got chewed out as a coach just like you did as a player. It just flows downhill. And golly, I could see his name, our tight end. And he had messed up.
Reed?
Was Reed.
Reed, was that his name? Reed.
Billy Kirk. It wasn't Billy Kirk. It was
Reed.
Reed. It was Reed. And he had messed something up in practice. And I'm like, Damn it! I told him 500 times how to do that. The coordinator after Holgerson.
What was his name? Rodriguez.
I could see his face right now.
I can too.
He paused it. He said, Coach, I'm gonna tell you like Coach Holtz told a friend of mine. What's so damn special about 500? Your job is to coach you, Coach.
Do it 501 times.
Yeah, 501 times. Yes, sir. I never use that excuse again.
My God.
What's the damn? I have remembered that the rest of my career, and to carry that in business. What's the damn special about 500? Wow. So yes, sir.
So how? Now, me and you thought we were doing something special.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Trading film.
Trading film.
How many times you traded film in 25 years, Toby?
Not many. Since then.
You don't
Not
since
many. Since then. No.
Since then. How many times you forgotten the film since then?
Not since then. Not one time.
Yep.
I learned a lesson.
Learned a lesson.
For sure.
That was a valuable lesson that day.
Yeah, for sure.
That's sure what it was.
Now, Toby, you've been coaching for how long now?
25 years.
25 years. And Chris, how long did you coach?
I only coached two.
Just two.
Just those two. Yeah. It's just those two.
And so what did you do after coaching?
I spent a couple of years with automatic data processing. Then I've spent 20 years as a financial advisor.
Financial advisor.
Yep.
And what's the name of the company?
Sound Financial.
Sound Financial. Gotcha.
So I think coming out of coaching, we were laughing about Coach Black earlier that y'all got to know, recruiting, I'll say it's a dirty job. And if somebody doesn't want to edit that out, I'll start telling stories about how nasty it actually is. You two both those stories too about what I can't imagine how nasty recruiting is now with NIL and revenue share. I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
It was bad then. And I came back from the junior college all-star camp, coaching from Mississippi College. I should add, because people always ask, was Mississippi College cheating? Mississippi College was not cheating in the 90s. We learned our lesson in the 80s.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We were not cheating.
We were not cheating. That's right. We were not cheating in the 90s. We learned our lesson in the 80s. Did you ever hear Cooper Pope tell the story when the NCAA came to get the national championship trophy? When you get the national championship pulled from, the NCAA comes and takes the trophy away from the school.
Oh, wow.
They came into the field house. Y'all know the old trophy case was back then.
Yeah.
And y'all remember how big Coop was.
Big guy.
Had his national championship ring on. He said, y'all want my ring too? Right, no, Coach, you can keep that. Can't you see him?
Oh, I can see what
we're ring too.
I sure can.
But Coach Black told me, I said, Coach, I felt like a vulture, recruiting around all that. He said, Mac, vultures that ain't around meat don't eat.
Yeah.
Translation, learn how to recruit or get out of college, coach.
Exactly.
So
how many players did we play with at Mississippi College that got into coaching? It's been a bunch, hasn't it?
A bunch. Shoot. Just guys that I hung out with. I'd probably say 10, maybe. Yeah. I mean, just guys that I was there with. And I'd say all have been
very successful.
Very successful, yeah. I mean, Dennis Gaines just won a state
sure
championship.
Did. Yeah, down in Louisiana.
Yep.
You got Vance Andrew down in Louisiana. Yep. Chris Pickle coached for a little while. Yep. He's no longer coaching, but he coached for a little while.
And several.
Yeah. Gabe Fertitta.
Yep.
He got into college coaching. I think he's
doing well.
Yeah, he's at Nicholls State. Yeah,
yep.
Nicholls State.
He was at Florida State.
Oh.
I mean, you can go on and on.
Oh, yeah. It's been a bunch of them.
You got Brad Pope is not coaching, but he's up at Memphis doing something with
That's right.
The
University.
Social media side of it.
You had Kevin Roberts.
Yep.
He was on the coast. I think he's athletic director now.
He's AD now. And then our punter we were talking about earlier in Alabama. Yeah, he was in Alabama. Won a state championship.
Shannon Dawson.
Offensive
coordinator at Miami.
Yep. There's several of them.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the impact I think our coaches had on us.
Oh, 100%.
You don't get into that profession unless somebody's
impacted. Somebody's impacted you. Yeah, somebody mentored you, somebody cared for you. Yeah, yeah, and you.
And I'll speak to. I mean, he and I just went to John Smith's wake yesterday, and he was a big impact on me. I mean, 89 years old. He coached all the way into his 80s. You know, his daughter ran around on the sideline.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
she never had to worry about anybody messing with her. I mean,
he had 100 brothers.
Yeah. Just good group of guys.
It was, and I was talking to somebody the other day about Coach Smith, and you know, Coach Smith was a defensive coach.
Yep.
And I was an offensive player, so we didn't talk much, but I tell everybody, I mean, he treated, it didn't matter what side of the field you were on, he treated you just like you were his kid.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it was an impact on me, just the brief times that we had. And then even as older we got, you know, I'd see him all the time, you know, and he'd hug us and ask about the kids, and he's kept up with everybody's families over all these years. And we took him fishing a few years back. I mean, we had a good time.
It was great.
Yeah, it was. Oh, look, we had a good time.
And even when we didn't take him fishing, we called him.
Oh yeah, we did.
That's with him on the phone.
We called him. Most of the time he was probably in bed already. Yeah, because it was late at night at the fish camp, and we'd call him and he'd answer, and he'd cut up with us for 20 minutes on the cell.
Well, I was coaching at Northwest Rankin for those 6 years. I worked out at one of the gyms there, and he was at the same place. And anytime he came in, man, he knew my kids' names. He knew Kathy's name, my wife. And again, it's one of those things where I think that's a testament of a really good football coach, a really good coach or mentor, or whatever you want to call it. If you're just a blip on the radar, which I was, I mean, I was a very small part of his life, but he could call my wife by name.
That's right.
He knew my kids' names. He knew where I'd been, anything I'd done in my life. He could call it. I mean, that always meant a lot to me.
Oh,
it really did.
Good guy. He was a good man. So his coach's story, you know, he was in business for a long time.
Yeah, real estate.
When he was on Virginia Tech's coaching staff.
Yes.
When he left the business, and the guys that were on staff with him were huge names.
Yep.
And I'm not going to try to. I mean, this is from 98, 99 when I did the story, so I can't remember but they were huge names at the time.
Yep.
And he always talked to me. He actually tried to talk me out of going to business because he said, "Son, you said you would enjoy the impact that you have on ball players and as they're growing into men." And that's the way he looked at it, is he wanted to help young men grow into be good men. He was a good man.
Oh, yeah.
He was a heck of a good man.
Yeah.
Smitty.
Yeah.
I liked him. He was fun.
Great guy.
He was fun. He was a lot of fun. So we're here tonight. We're supposed to be talking business.
That's right. A little business, a little chores, a little
right.
Whatever, for sure.
So, I've worked with you just a year or two after we
Yeah.
technically your coach, right?
That's right. You are. Yeah.
Whopping, if I'm older than you, by
Yeah, it ain't much.
much. That's right. I was a very mature 22-year-old coaching you boys in college.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I actually asked you this question recently. Shane, what can I do? My insurance premiums, I've got 3 teenage daughters. I've got cars everywhere. I own a used car lot, I feel like.
Look, I understand.
But, I mean, I look out in my driveway, and I can't get my own vehicle out.
Right.
I got the oldest one in my family.
That's right.
Dad, I mean, y'all understand that. I like
We get it.
old truck,
Yeah.
my old beat-up pickup. It's always one thing. So what can I do to lower that premium? Because I actually called you recently. I was like, Shane, dang it, we got to do something about this. This is killing me, man.
Definitely.
So how do you do that? With insurance premium, especially as the economy, we've gone through inflation since 22, and people are feeling that pain. That is an area that you can lower if they kind of manage their finances well. How do you answer that?
So we answer that in the way that times have changed so much over the last 4, 5, 10 years when it comes to insurance. Really, the only way to lower your rates is call your agent, find out if there's any discounts for whatever reason that you could apply for. At certain ages, at a certain age, you can you can apply for a defensive driver discount, which we're not at that age yet, but at a certain age you can. Age 55. We're getting close. We're getting close. 55.
Get those initials.
Yeah, those initials. That's right. And then see if there, if you bundle your auto, your home, your life insurance, there's multiple discounts for that. And really, the only other way is just to raise your deductibles. I mean, it's not a whole lot else out there right now to do. Take on a little bit more risk, as far on the auto insurance side.
Sure. So people are tempted today with shopping it themselves online, DIYing it, because you can go on YouTube and learn how to do anything, right? You can become an expert. Toby, I'm gonna coach football next year again after 25 years.
Anybody can. Go on Friday night. You find
there's a bunch of them in the stands.
Nothing's changed in 30 years. I was gonna say 25 years. I think it's closer to 30 since I've coached.
Yeah.
But so what is I know there's negatives. There's negatives in everything when you DIY something. What's some of the risks that you run into when it comes to insurance? If you go out and you shop online and I'm like, all right, I've known TAP here for 25 years, 30 years, but dang, this is a lot less expensive. What do you say to that?
Well, how I can tell a story that just this weekend I had a friend of mine that had bought a vacation house down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and he's been doing insurance with me for 20-something years now, and he called me up and asked if I could write insurance in Alabama, and unfortunately I can't. Our company is not in the state of Alabama. And so I was like, look, I'll try to help you find somebody down there. And we found a couple of people. He called around, got some quotes. And this kind of hit home for me, and it may answer your question, Chris. He's had insurance down there for a while out of Gulf Shores, Pensacola area, with an Alabama agent that he doesn't know. He called over the phone. He's never met him in person. They did everything like this. And he has called me multiple times, and he goes, Shane, he said, I took for granted having somebody that I know and I trust, and I can call on their cell phone on a Sunday afternoon and say, hey, what do I need to do here in this situation?
That's true.
There's thousands.
I think people lose sight of that.
They do. Yeah, they lose sight of that. And like you said, he took for granted that, I'm available.
Yeah. And you might pay a little bit more for the premium or whatever it is.
Last year we had
you picked up the phone and called.
You picked up the phone. I called you last year like that when we had the leak in the wall and flooded the floor. Friday night at 11:30. And I'm walking to the bedroom. I feel water coming up between the floor, the hardwood floor. I'm like, dang, man, you got to be kidding me.
And you called him?
He called me
at 11:30 night.
Yeah.
Did I call you at night or call you next morning?
No, you called me that night.
Did I call you that night?
And we were comfortable doing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, doing that. And that's what I tell everybody.
Big mess.
I tell everybody, right? There's a lot of agents out there that don't give out their cell phones, and I do. If I don't answer and I see you call, then as soon as I figure out that I missed a call, I'm going to call you back.
Yeah.
But if it's not somebody that you feel
comfortable with,
you
certainly aren't going to get that online.
No,
right.
No, you call a 1-800 number. You might talk to somebody in Indonesia.
You know what I learned in that too? They're going to send a commercial cleaning crew,
right?
And it's going to cost you about 3 or 4 times more.
We bet through that.
You bet through that. Yep. You bet through that. I mean, this is something we were able to tear out the floors. Some friends of mine who did flooring came in to help me out the next morning. This actually turned out fine. It worked out fine. And the next day that next day, the group I play golf with, we were having a crawfish bowl. And I was like, damn it, I want to go to this crawfish bowl now. And Christy was saying, my wife, she had said, all right, look, y'all going to drink beer. You going to eat crawfish. I'll come pick you up. Before I left, she said, I got a bottle of wine and I'm sitting in the garden, working in the garden all day. You better get right on.
You better find an Uber.
After tearing that floor out half the morning, I'm going to play golf and drink beer, though. you know.
That's exactly right.
Because I mean, it's just such a mess. It was good to be able to call you. It really was to be able to go. And I think that's because I've thought about that. I mean, I thought that question when I called you about lowering insurance. Like, dang it, I got teenage.
And the thing is like Toby said, there's thousands of insurance companies out there, and you can find somebody that has a better rate than somebody here and somebody there and whatever. But a lot of times you cannot get that personal service.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I try to provide look, I'm here. Like I'm your personal service of insurance. Let's figure it out. It's one of the reasons I get my cell phone out, my email out, and I answer calls all time of day, all weekends, nights, whatever, and we do whatever we can to try to help and take care of the business.
Well,
and you just don't. These internet companies, you're just not going to get that kind of service, unfortunately.
No, and you're going to get stuck doing all the paperwork yourself. You're going to get stuck. That's going through the process all by yourself.
Yeah, and like Toby said, you may save a little money here or there.
We shopped ours out a few years ago. Our car insurance.
Oh, really?
My daughter just got her license, had a wreck. 4 months later, we're still fighting with the insurance company, and we finally came back home to the to the insurance we were with before. But I mean, it was terrible. I mean, they thought we were trying to rob them. I mean, it was just, we shopped it out trying to save money. We did save money for a little while, but then the worst thing that could possibly happen happened. Yeah. Daughter had a wreck, and then we're stuck.
You're 17.
16 years old.
Yeah.
And the reports out there say 80% of children under 18. Yeah,
we talked a lot about that.
Yeah, they're gonna have an accident. 80% of them are gonna have an accident.
Sure.
And so it's part of the equation. And get back to insurance rates. The last 3 years nationwide across the country, home and auto rates have increased 21% each year the last 3 years. So we're saying insurance rates have gone up 63% across the board in the last 3 years.
Why is that?
So the good question. It has a lot to do with, on the auto side, it has a lot to do with these cars that we're driving nowadays.
Teenage drivers.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, especially in Mississippi. I mean, there's a combination of a lot of teenage drivers, a lot of uninsured people still in the state of Mississippi. I think now it's around 25% of everybody's uninsured. They're driving out with no insurance. And so if you have an accident,
every time you get on the road, 25% of the people
exactly
uninsured.
And then the simple fact that now cars these days are supercomputers. 15 years ago you could have had a fender bender and you'd have called me up and said, "Shane, man, I bumped into this post," and I've been like, "Look, it's $500 or $600. Just go down to the place down there and they'll get it fixed for you." Now you total out your car, just a little old fender bender. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got 1,000 computer chips and sensors all in your cars now. And your body shops have had to turn around, and every individual car manufacturer out there now has specialized their maintenance and how they have to fix the cars with all these sensors. And so every body shop out there they've had to get all their employees retrained with all the different manufacturer specialties to get. And so that's raised the calls up. So when you do have a claim, it costs more through them. And so it all trickles down to the rates going up. And then on the homeowner side, I mean, it's over the last 4 or 5 years, the frequency and increase of storms that we've had in Mississippi. We just got back about 3 or 4 months ago from a big insurance meeting, where they talked about Tornado Alley that used to be Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri. They still get a lot of tornadoes, but that line has shifted further south, and it's Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee. And over the last 4 years, I mean, we've seen an increase of hailstorms and tornadoes. At one point this spring, Mississippi had 87 confirmed tornadoes through the first 3 months of this year. And that was like 30 more than any other state in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not realize that.
Yeah. And so the cost of construction, the frequency of storms and hailstorms it's all added to the insurance going up.
Just paying for the premium. Everybody's paying. It's
the
law of large numbers.
Law of large numbers.
It's the way it's priced.
And we have to explain that to people all the time. But I hadn't had a claim in 20 years, but unfortunately the numbers show that most likely you will here soon, and insurance companies they just can't. They had to.
I said the very same thing, Christy. I was like, I don't know if we've ever filed a claim.
Right, exactly.
I don't know that I've ever filed a claim.
Right. Yeah, but your rates keep going up.
Yeah, that's right.
And on the homeowner side, raising deductibles as well, and I try to explain to people all the time that homeowners policies. I think over a period of time, homeowners insurance companies, the way the policies were written, that they kind of became a maintenance policy. You filed a claim and, you got 2 or 3 shingles off in your roof and you could turn around and get a whole brand new roof out there. And it's just not that way anymore. It's one of those things I try to tell my insurers, look, if you can pay something to get fixed as a little bit out of your pocket to fix it.
Well, you told me that on the floor.
Yeah, I did. Like, get some quotes. Let's see, and let's compare if it's
made more sense.
If it's worth for it to fix it or file the claim.
Yeah.
So
because it is. I mean, I had that actually. A house I sold years ago. A hailstorm came through right before we closed on it.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And a roofing contractor just came through handing out.
Yep.
I mean, and I grew up. My dad ran construction crews and roofing crews. There wasn't any damage on that roof, but he goes handing out let's look. Yeah, you have damage. You need a new roof. Well, and of course that's what the family buying the house from me said, and I had to pay the roof replaced.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So yeah, housing maintenance policy makes sense.
Yeah.
That sort of pisses me off, actually. I would have really liked to have found that roof and contract.
Right, exactly.
Especially me about 20 years ago. Yeah, I would have really liked to have my hands on it.
For sure. Chris, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I manage other people's money.
Okay.
Yeah, I manage investment money. And we do financial planning and manage investment money. And people will ask that, and I really do. I was like, I manage other people's money. That's where the stress comes from my life. It's other people's money.
Sounds like a stressful job.
Yeah, it is. It's part of it. No, it's a stock market's going to go up and down. The economy's going to do what it does, and the politicians are going to say stupid things in the camera anytime that there's one around.
But
then it's going to affect things.
Yeah.
So
right now, is there anything that's affecting the stock market or investments? That
certainly there's a lot of headline pressure.
Right.
There's 3 major themes going on in the world globally, and you've got this massive move of deglobalization that started during COVID. Think about it during COVID. If you remember all the pictures of the ports in California where there's 60 tanker ships stacked up.
Yeah.
Well, American companies realized that I'm not putting my Fortune 500 company at risk again because we have a global pandemic or a global war or and so this slow move of deglobalization started. And President Trump on Liberation Day on April 2nd just ripped the Band-Aid off. So when he started a trade war, that was really a negotiating tactic to renegotiate all of our trading agreements with every country worldwide all at once. And I get tickled because I know that the rest of the world's read his book, The Art of the Deal, but he still negotiates exactly the same way. But when you're the president of the United States, you can't do anything to stop him from doing it to you. And that was this massive negotiation tactic to restructure global trade that's been in place since World War II. And so we've seen this now, this deglobalization happen at light speed. That will be the major theme economically for the rest of our life. Okay, we'll start seeing. It won't mean that we won't trade with Asia, especially Southeast Asia, Japan, China, Australia, and Europe. We'll still trade with them, but you're starting to see major companies move things back, onshoring, nearshoring, back to the United States. That's a major theme happening. technology, the next wave of technology is AI.
Right.
Pretty soon we can all just sit out here and, a computer will do our job. I mean, maybe even coach football. But I guarantee you a computer will never chew somebody's ass out as good as an old football coach will.
Oh, there's some things that never change.
That'll never change. No, they'll never change. And so certainly a computer can do my job. That's the majority of my job. It can do a lot better than me. But and as AI grows, what that's going to cause is we need massive infrastructure changing in the United States. For AI to grow to the potential that it's expected over the next couple of decades, our electricity grid needs to double at least. The data centers that house all of this work they're existing, but they're not existing. I mean, think of BS centers being built just north of Madison. I mean, it's massive. There's another one that's being built, I understand, or slated to be built outside of Meridian. Well, what you had outside of Meridian, north of that was a brand new power plant that took decades to get.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so the infrastructure that surrounds all of the new technology will have to get built and built faster than we've ever built it before. That'll be interesting to watch. And the last piece of this is what we're seeing of major changes are really the dominance of the central bank. The central bank all over the world, but especially the United States Federal Reserve, just being able to slow and speed up and control and manage economies. And there will be an arrogance that comes with that and they just managed a global pandemic, this long, slow, shallow recession that came after this major inflation, but without any bubbles popping. Okay. And now you see President Trump putting a lot of pressure on the chairman, Jay Powell. And so there'll be this push and pull for the rest of our life of what is the central bank doing and how is that affecting the economy? And that's because they control interest rates. Mm-hmm. And so much of our economy now runs on credit. People don't, just about the only way to buy a house now, even your first home or your last home, is to borrow money to do it. Unless you're uber wealthy, you're going to borrow money to buy the house. And that's at least that. Most people are going to borrow money to buy every car they ever buy, to go to college. Those interest rates affect how the major purchases in the economy are made. And so we'll see them also to continue to print money.
Oh yeah,
that's that's just the way of the world now. Until that breaks, which it will eventually. There will be a day it breaks.
Right. Yeah, you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but how does someone establish themselves financially, like right out of college? I mean, is that
so having good principles, having good money management principles. One of my favorite topics is to teach what the Bible teaches about money.
Okay,
my favorite topic. All right, I'll start preaching in a minute. But the Bible gives these guiding principles when it comes to money, and they're pretty simple. Tithe, okay. Be generous. Let's start with this. There's one purpose for money, and that's God's glory.
Right.
There's 3 actions, and there's only 3 actions with money that make sense. And it's be generous. It's to enjoy what God's blessed you with, and to invest for the future so that you can be more generous, so that you can enjoy it, so that you invest it, and it becomes this healthy cycle. Okay. But I would tell any college student coming out and you get your first job, don't buy into the lie that society tells you that your money defines your success, your security, or your status. But as men, we know this for sure, that money becomes our scoreboard. It's how we define ourselves. And we also have titles, power, success, wins, business successes, all those kind of flow into that, but wealth becomes a part of it. Security becomes a part of it, especially for a lot of ladies. This is not always gender specific, but I would tell the ladies, young ladies, beware. Don't just think that that's your only security. Money is important. Okay. So treat it as important, but don't find your identity there.
Right.
Okay. And then the actions that you take are tithe, pay yourself first, meaning save money, invest money.
Right.
Don't live above your means.
100%.
Really do not live above your means.
Yeah.
It's like really, really listen to, our grandparents told us that. Our parents told us that. And
that's right.
When we were playing ball and coaching, we didn't listen.
We don't live by it.
We don't live by it.
Right.
No.
Most people don't.
Until we get to about our age and we go, hey, guess what? Don't live beyond your means. Actually,
Now we're telling our kids that.
No, that's right.
Kids that. That's right. And I've said this recently to some people on a project I'm working on. So we now have about 175 years of history, wealth history in America that we can look at. We can go back and study the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and the Carnegies, and you can see what wealth did to the families and what good families did and what unhealthy families did. So good families have good principles, invest, save money. But Ray Dalio wrote this book, and Ray Dalio started the largest hedge fund in the world. He said that it is the second book he wrote, the Changing World Order, and that great empires did this. And just kind of at the end, there's almost this mention of families, and wealthy families do this. And I found this interesting that all families can do this. They have a high moral standard, they have a love of learning, and they have a steady and a hard work ethic.
Yeah.
And anybody can have those three.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't have to have money to have
That's
those.
free.
Those are free.
Yeah.
They tend to create wealth.
Right.
Those things tend to create wealth. And so I think for a lot of kids coming straight out of school, having good financial principles and having a good knowledge of money, having a good understanding of that it affects you in a lot of different ways. Don't let it affect you in the negative ones. That you can use money as a tool really well as you grow older. And most wealth that is earned quickly is lost quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So steadily earn and grow wealth over time, doing the right things and enjoy life. Don't keep saying, oh, when I get there, I'm going to be happy and successful when I get there.
Because you won't. Because as soon as you get there, then you'll want to get over here.
Yeah.
And it's ever.
At 22 years old, why didn't we talk about this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where were you?
Yeah. Well, y'all were there. Y'all were forgetting the video.
We were together,
We were together.
but you weren't talking about
I wasn't
this.
talking about this, bro.
Y'all were on your way to videos, and you forgot the videos. That's what.
And you forgot them.
And I forgot them. I actually do think that was my fault. I do think I forgot them. I do think I forgot them.
No, that's good stuff.
That is good stuff. It's now how old are your children, Chris?
19, 17, and 15.
Yeah, 19, 17, 15. And we all three have 3 kids each. My oldest is 24, and your oldest is how?
21.
21. And
About to be 22.
Yep. Yep. So I've got one in bigger world right now.
Y'all've gotten smart again, haven't you?
I have gotten smaller.
You know, I went through a period there from when she was like 14 to 17. I was the dumbest SOB in the world. And then I went through it again with my current 18-year-old, and I'm coming out of it again. And I'm about to go into it again with my 12-year-old. So it just cycles.
It's cycles. Yeah.
Every 3 years.
It's amazing how
4
smart,
years.
how dumb and smart
I
you
feel like I think I got out of my last cycle with my youngest being 18, and I've actually gotten smarter.
You got smart again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Again,
I'm starting. I'm
With
like,
my 21-year-old, I'm currently the smartest man she knows. 2 years ago, with my 18-year-old, I was the dumbest SOB she knew.
yes.
So I'm about to go into it again with my 12-year-old. So
That's exactly right.
I remember my dad going through it.
Yeah, he was dumb as a sack of rock. Also, they got smart.
I don't know what happens to us.
I don't know. It's just gray hair or something. It makes us dumb at first, and then we get smart with it. You know, it's amazing. No, it's a fun. It's an interesting. Watch this. My middle one's going to go swim at the University of Arkansas.
Okay.
And so it's interesting learning and watching about college sports. And you did this with your daughters playing soccer,
Yeah.
NIL, revenue share, and learning about all these rules. It was just like, this is more fun, but it's more twisted.
It is.
I was walking through the we'd have called it the training table, the cafeteria. I don't know what word you'd use in Arkansas. It's neither one of those. It's really nice. I looked at her, I said, look, when you're about 22, you're going to have to realize somebody's not cooking 3 meals a day and every snack for them. That's right. You're going to have to get over this now. Like, this ain't life. Yeah. This is not real life.
That's right.
You know, I enjoy it while it lasts.
Exactly.
But it's a unique world.
It is.
It
is.
To dive off into.
Yeah, college sports, high school sports, they're all a lot different than When we what we experienced 30 years ago.
Weren't you the leading running back in yards? What was that stat?
So hold on, let me think.
I remember that stat.
He had more touchdowns, I think, than anyone in the state of Mississippi.
No, that's not true.
What was the stat? Look, I remember seeing the list. You were up there walking.
He had a nickname.
No, I did. Don't talk about it.
He had a nickname, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think it was
Here's the guy out there.
Touchdown
Toby.
I think it was touchdown.
Is that so? Tell us about touchdown Toby.
I can't tell you about it.
Where was that kid?
Yeah, we don't need to go back to those.
Legend in my own mind.
Legend in his own
mind. The Smithville Flash.
That's right.
I am royalty back in Smithville, though.
I feel like sometimes I'm royalty when I go back home, but then I realize
I feel like that when I go home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I walk in the door
Yeah,
If nobody acknowledges I'm there.
king of my castle until my wife walks in. That's right. I hope y'all enjoyed dinner tonight.
We did.
I enjoyed catching up and telling stories and talking a little shop. And
That's right.
so I want to thank y'all for coming to the first episode of the Back Patio Quarterbacks.